Have you ever felt an itch that made you stop for a second and wonder what your body might be trying to tell you as you scratch away? As we grow older, our bodies find quiet ways to send us messages, sometimes through a stiff ache, a wave of tiredness, or even a small, nagging itch that just won't quit. Most people don't think twice about it. They assume an itch is nothing more than dry skin or a little irritation that'll pass on its own. But the truth is, where that itch keeps popping up on your body might hold a bigger clue than you'd expect. Doctors and researchers who focus on aging and how our bodies change over time have found that persistent itching in certain spots, especially for older folks, can actually point to serious health problems lurking beneath the surface. These aren't loud alarms, but subtle hints that could affect how long and how well you live. That's right. Something as simple as an itch that sticks around could be your body waving a little warning flag, quietly asking you to take a closer look before it's too late. In this guide, we want to walk through 4 specific areas where itching in seniors might mean more than meets the eye. These aren't just guesses or old tales your grandma might tell. They're real patterns spotted by experts who study health and longevity for a living. Each itchy spot has its own story to share about what's going on with your blood, your organs, your nerves, or even what you're eating every day. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear idea of how to spot these signals and what steps you can take to stay on top of them. So don't brush it off or think it's no big deal. Stay with us, because tuning in to what your body's saying could not only add years to your life, but make those years feel stronger, sharper, and more peaceful. Let's dive in and see what's really going on. 1. Constant itching on the lower legs. One spot that's super easy to ignore but can tell you a lot about your health is the lower legs. Think your calves, shins, or ankles. If you've noticed a constant itch down there and there's no obvious rash or bug bite to blame, you might figure it's just dry skin or something that comes with getting older. But here's the thing. Doctors have seen this a lot in seniors, and they've learned it can be a sign of trouble with blood flow, a condition called peripheral artery disease. This happens when the blood has a hard time moving through the small vessels in your legs, almost like traffic getting stuck on a narrow road. When that flow slows down, your skin can get dry, sensitive, and itchy, and it might not feel like a big deal at first. Imagine 2 men, George and Tom, both in their late 70s, living pretty different lives. George is the type who stays active. He takes a walk around the block every morning, checks his legs and feet to make sure they're okay, and hasn't noticed anything strange. Tom, on the other hand, has been slowing down lately. He's not as mobile as he used to be, spends more time sitting, and often feels wiped out. Recently, he started scratching his legs a lot, especially at night or after sitting for hours, and he just slaps on some lotion, thinking it's no big thing. But the itch keeps coming back, and what Tom doesn't know is that it could mean his blood isn't reaching his lower legs as well as it should. Poor circulation doesn't just dry out your skin. It makes your muscles and tissues weaker too, and that puts extra pressure on your heart and blood vessels. Over time, this can raise the chances of bigger problems like heart disease, a stroke, or even trouble with memory and thinking. Your legs are like a backup pump for your heart, helping push blood back up to the rest of your body. So, if they're not working right, everything else can start to feel the strain. The good news is you don't have to just live with it. There are simple ways to turn things around if you catch it early. Things like taking short walks every day, putting your feet up when you're sitting, and drinking plenty of water can get that blood moving better. Even wearing comfy compression socks or cutting back on salty snacks can help out. So if your lower legs keep itching and there's no clear reason like a rash or an allergy, don't just ignore it or think it'll go away on its own. Your body might be trying to tell you it needs a little help down there. 2. Unexplained itching on the upper or mid-back. Now let's talk about an itch on your upper or mid-back, those spots that are tough to reach when you want to scratch. It's tempting to blame it on something simple like dry skin, a scratchy shirt label, or maybe even the weather. But this kind of itch might be your body sending a signal about something deeper going on inside. For a lot of older adults, persistent itching in this area can actually point to trouble with 2 really important organs, your liver or your kidneys. These organs are like the body's cleanup crew. They filter out toxins and keep everything running smoothly. But when they're not working as well as they should, waste can build up in your blood, and that can irritate your skin, especially on your back, where there are tons of nerve endings ready to feel it. Picture two women, Clara and Ruth, both 74 years old, with different habits. Clara's the kind who stays on top of things. She goes to the doctor regularly, drinks lots of water to stay hydrated, and her skin's always been pretty healthy. Ruth, though, has been feeling off lately. She's more tired than usual. Her ankles are swelling up a bit, and she's been scratching her back a lot, especially when she's trying to sleep at night. She's switched soaps, tried thicker creams, and even changed her laundry detergent, but that itch just won't budge. What Ruth doesn't realize is that her kidneys or liver might be struggling to keep up, letting toxins pile up in her system. This type of itch doesn't usually come with a rash you can see, and it loves to flare up at night, making it hard to rest and leaving you feeling worn out the next day. Over time, trouble with these organs can mess with digestion, sleep, energy, and even how clear your mind feels, and studies show it's linked to bigger health risks if it's not addressed. But don't panic, this isn't a dead end. It's a heads up to take care of yourself. A quick blood test at the doctor can check how your liver and kidneys are doing, and little changes can make a difference. Drinking more water, eating fewer processed foods, cutting back on alcohol, and watching your salt can ease the pressure on these organs. If you're on a bunch of meds, it's worth asking your doctor how they might affect things too. So if your back keeps itching and there's no obvious explanation, don't just shrug it off. Listen up, because your skin might be the first to notice when something's out of balance inside. 3. Frequent itching on the scalp or neck. Next up is frequent itching on your scalp or the back of your neck, places that might seem like no big deal when they start to bother you. Older adults often write this off as something small, like dry skin, a shampoo that doesn't agree with them, or just a normal part of aging. But there could be more to it than that. This kind of itch might not just be about your skin. It could be tied to deeper things like stress, inflammation in your body, or even changes in your nervous system that affect how you feel physically and mentally. The scalp and neck are packed with sensitive nerves, and they're quick to react when your body's under strain, especially the kind that builds up slowly over time as we get older and our stress defenses aren't as strong. Think about two men, Frank and Jim, both in their early 80s, living pretty different lives these days. Frank's the type who keeps busy in a good way. He hangs out with friends, tends to his garden, and winds down with some quiet time in the evenings, staying pretty relaxed overall. Jim, though, has had a rougher go since he stopped working. He feels restless, spends more time cooped up indoors, and has been carrying stress he doesn't really talk about or even notice much. Over the last few months, he's been scratching his scalp and neck more, first just at night, then all through the day, with no rash or dandruff to explain it. He's tried new shampoos, swapped pillowcases, but the itch keeps coming back. What Jim doesn't see is that this could be his body showing the tension and fatigue in his nerves. As we age, our stress response gets a little rusty. Instead of bouncing back after a worry, our bodies can stay on edge, keeping stress hormones high and wearing us down, and that often shows up in sensitive spots like these. Some experts even say this kind of itching can hint at nerve issues or early memory changes. Not every time, but enough to make it worth a second thought. The upside is you can ease it with simple stuff. Taking slow breaths, stepping outside for some fresh air, or catching up with a buddy can calm your system down. For Jim, little changes like a morning walk, skipping the late night news, and calling a friend started to help. The itch didn't vanish right away, but it faded as he relaxed. If your scalp or neck keeps itching, and it's not a skin problem, take a minute to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Not just in your body, but in your head too. Your nerves might be asking for a break. 4. Ongoing itching around the chest or abdomen. Finally, let's look at ongoing itching around your chest or abdomen. Those big areas across the front of your body that you might not think twice about. When people picture health warning signs, they usually imagine stuff like trouble breathing, feeling dizzy, or forgetting things. But your skin right here can quietly tell you a lot about what's going on inside, especially if it's itching for no clear reason. For older adults, this kind of itch might not just be a little annoyance. It could be a sign that your body's missing out on key nutrients or not soaking them up properly from what you eat, which can slowly wear down your strength, your immune system, and your ability to heal. Imagine two women, Mary and Helen, both 79, with different eating habits. Mary still loves making her own meals. She puts together plates with veggies, fruits, and some protein, keeping it simple but nutritious even if she doesn't eat as much as she used to. Helen's been different lately. She's lost her spark for food, often skips meals, and grabs quick things like crackers or canned soup that don't fill her up right. Over the past year, she's noticed her chest and belly itching more, especially in the evenings, and sometimes her skin feels dry or tender there too. She figured it was just sensitive skin, tried new soaps and lotions, but nothing's worked. What Helen doesn't know is that as we age, our digestion can get sluggish, and it might not pull out enough vitamins like B12, good fats, or minerals like zinc and magnesium from food. When those run low, your skin dries out, your nerves get jumpy, and your whole body feels it. Less energy, weaker muscles, even a fuzzier mind. The tricky part is this can happen even if you're not losing weight, so it's easy to miss until something like an itch pops up. Areas like your chest and belly, full of nerves and blood vessels, can feel it first. The great thing is this is one of the easiest fixes. You don't need a big overhaul. Adding a handful of nuts, an egg, some berries, or even a solid multivitamin can start to turn it around over time. If your chest or abdomen keeps itching and your meals have been skimpy lately, think of it as your body's gentle nudge to feed it better, not just to stop the itch, but to keep you going strong for years ahead. Wrapping up. So now that we've walked through these 4 itchy spots, lower legs, upper back, scalp and neck, chest and abdomen, take a quiet second to think. Have any of these felt familiar to you lately? A random itch here or there might not mean much, but as we've explored, each one can carry a message if it sticks around. It could be blood flow slowing in your legs, your liver or kidneys waving for help through your back, stress tingling on your scalp, or your body hinting at hunger for better food across your torso. Your body doesn't yell, it whispers, and it often uses your skin to do it. These signs aren't a sentence. They're an opening to step in and take charge before a little problem grows into something bigger. You can start small. Walk a bit more to get your legs going. Eat cleaner to support your organs. Rest deeper to calm your nerves. Or add a few good bites to your day to fuel up right. If one of these itches sounds like something you've noticed, don't wait. Pick one easy change and give it a try. If none of them match yet, that's awesome. But now you're ready to spot them if they show up down the road. The point isn't just to stick around longer. It's to live those years feeling clear, independent, and happy. Listening to your body's quiet signals, even the itchy ones, is a smart way to make that happen. Thanks for sticking with me. What caught your attention today? And what's one thing you might do about it? I'd love to hear from you.